that. Yeah. So thank you very much. My guest is here with me already. So just have him introduce himself. So yeah, go ahead. Tell
Yeah.
us your name and a bit, just a little background to how this all started for you. And you're in great shape as well. You look great. I love the trends. I love the biceps showing. And yeah, so just
Thanks. I think before I just get started or start to talk about myself and this amazing man here have been friends for like really long time. We like come way back from back in Nigeria. I probably how old was I there? Probably like in our probably like very early
yeah,
uh
very
teens
enjoyable.
there about yeah. I was a younger one, so let's not mistake. I was a younger one. He was the older. If I look older now, it's life.
You count as you definitely count as a day one. So regardless,
Yeah.
that's great.
Awesome. So thanks for having me. And so I'll just jump straight into it. So my name is Chen Emecheta, and I first of all I'm a married man. I am a father of one amazing daughter who is currently my first student after a very long time in karate. She is a white daughter, and she's
Nice.
7. And we I think I currently live in Texas. I currently stay in Texas right now, which we kind of move from time to time, from place to place. So I'm in Texas right now with my family. I've been in karate for a very long time. I started out karate when I was 1. So uh, a quick backstory to that. And obviously, I don't remember. It's all I have as evidence are pictures and a newspaper publication. So my first ever like major publication where I felt I was really like very popular as a kid was when I was 1 and I went into a karate event that my father was hosting. And after I think like the mid like when we were taking a break from the competition and fighting, I just ran into the mat. We call the mat a tatami. So I was running to the tatami. And everybody was yelling, hey, this guy, this young boy, don't give him a medal, give him a medal. So that was like my first trophy ever in my life at 1.
Wow.
And from there, my father was the one who actually introduced me into karate as a kid because he's the second most senior karateka in Nigeria. His name is Emecheta. He's second most senior, and he was my coach for a very long time. But as it is, how parents can be with their children. They can't be like our coaches forever. They
Forever.
just
Yeah.
don't have the patience to teach us as much, especially when they are grandmasters. So I did karate for a very long time. As a kid, I started out obviously without everybody else, white belts, and my father was my initial coach. While he was my coach when I was probably my very young, say like 7, 5, like 7, 8, thereabout. He was my first coach, and we didn't have a great coach-student relationship. It wasn't a great one. He didn't have the patience to teach me, so he just handed me over to someone who was working for him. His name is Sensei Gimba, and during that period when I started working with Sensei Gimba as my coach, he drilled me, and my love for karate started coming back again because I still karate for a very long time. And once I got back into karate with Sensei, it was fun. He made it easy for me to get back into the sport and loved it. Then the beautiful thing, or what's now changed for me, was going for competitions as a kid. So I remember always going for competition with myself and some of my other teammates that started training karate with me, with me through my coach Sensei Gimba, and would go for competition. I think I remember my first competition. I was just telling myself like, yes, you're going to win. It's gold or nothing. So I went for the competition, and just to give a quick context into how karate is, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
competitions, there are two main aspects or two main foundations when it comes to the type of competition that done in karate. One is kumite. Kumite is where people are fighting, and for our kumite, it is more of a points. It's a point, or it's a scoring event, meaning first to score kind of event. Then there is kata. So kata is a demonstration where you have choreography. Now Both of them could be individual or team committees. So we'll get into details of that later on.
Okay.
So after that competition, I believe that competition was a kata competition where you demonstrate everything that you know. I came out second. I came out second. They meant that you didn't get a medal. There was no medal for you. So my friend, who I was a senior, he came first in his own age category. My blood, I was like, what's going on? I didn't understand how to manage or handle that loss as a kid. I'm just, normal. So my friend who won the gold medal, we were in the car together driving back home, and everybody's excited, for the medal. And I remember sitting back and I asked him, can I look at the medal? I looked at the medal and I just kept rubbing like, oh my god, this looks amazing. This looks amazing. And I'm like, wow, I don't have this. So after that day, I don't know what happened or switch they made, but from there on, myself and my friend, just both of us, his name is Chibueze, and we haven't spoken in a long time. Every competition we went for then in
Always
Nigeria,
gold medals.
we was always gold medals. It's literally almost gold medals. Both committee and kata was, but for kids at that point in time, it was majorly kata, which is demonstration that we're doing. Um, After a very long time, my sort of my family fell apart. So I was my mom for a long time. I stopped karate that period. My mom was not going to do any karate with me, so I was with my mom, and obviously I switched over to basketball. Which was like I switched over basketball. I felt like I was really good at it at one point. Became really good at basketball. Found myself, sort of wanting to just do it. Every form. I think I first started out at and one, which everybody just starts at and one before he moved into like proper basketball. Then after a while, I started staying. I came back to stay with my dad. So in Korea State, I came back to stay with him. He just dragged me back into karate ASAP. He's like, this guy, you have to get back into this karate. You can't be walking around this with all of this your size and not and not know how to I know how to fight. So, anyways, he drilled me again, became my coach for a while, but I still continued with one of the other coaches. Then he that was one of my opportunities to now start competing for the states. So I got back into karate, and my first competition I went for, there's a difference between, oh, they beat you or you lost. No, they they shimmy, beat beats me blue
Amazing.
black. And so, but karate obviously is a sport that has a lot of control to it. So you hardly see people get hit in the face and have a cut. If it happens, it's a mistake. That was a mistake, and the other person who like hit hard is going to get penalized. So it's a pretty light attack, but the speed and the control is one of the things that I really love about the sport, because you can go with full force and all you have to do is just return, and that is a really good point, right? And there are so many other techniques that goes into it. So that competition, I remembered it was in the stadium under one of those bridges as usual, and I went there. My dad was like, "Hey, here's my son. Just started training again. Get him in there and you know do him anyhow.
Oh,
Don't drag him, don't drag him in the mud." So they put me there in front of people who have been like training for a very long time.
for
And
real.
and he told me, he said, "Chen, I know you got this." He just gave me like, Chuck, actually, just no, he wasn't the one who hyped me. He didn't hype me. It was one of the guys that he just handed me over to. The guy that said, "Oh, Chen, let's go." And when they're trying to psych you up, next thing
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just give you this like, big tap at the slap at the back. I'm like, what is this? Why are you slapping me? It's not for down to fight. So anyways, I got in there and yeah, I was demolished. He beat me every day I lost. So after that fight, I now found myself working with a team. So I had the opportunity to start to train with Team Delta.
Ten. Oh,
Yeah, yes, I trained Team Delta, but I think before Team Delta, I went to a couple of other states, fought for a few states. Then, when my karate had sort of started picking up, then my coach then, Coach Aino, as we call him Shiana, he just said, "Hey, young man, come and join us. Come
snacks.
and do karate with us with the team." So
Team
I'm
Delta.
from Delta, I'm a Delta boy, so he just dragged me back into Delta. I said, "Well, I'm competing for the state." So, cut long story short, I've had the opportunity to represent Delta so many times in Nigeria, winning so many medals, and also represented Nigeria at the All African Games. Unfortunately for me, I didn't win any medal there. I did not get beaten like the other times. I did not get beaten. They did not wipe me. They didn't use me to wipe the ground. But yes, I did like some
Put up a
like
good
I've
show.
done better. But yeah, I put up a pretty good show. I'll say I did. And I would say for And after that, it was, I think, yeah, a few years ago. I After I moved down to United States, obviously stopped karate. And one of the reasons I stopped doing karate actively was because I had a torn meniscus in my left leg. So obviously, with one of our competitions we went for in the north. That's the interesting story. I'm sure I probably somewhere later on I'll tell you the story about that. Yeah. So but went there, got injured during the fight, which I did not know. Then it was when I got back to Lagos, and I just realized that I had busted my knee. No treatment or whatsoever. I just felt like it's probably like just one of these regular injuries, but that really, took a toll on me. Later on, I started to realize that I can't fight as well as I
As
want
you
to.
used to.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but there's this, PTSD, or sorry, trauma of not being able to fight and the pain in your heart when you see people fighting or you watch competitions. And I told myself, like, hey, do you know what? At least just try it once, even if you get something happens to you. So I started training myself when I moved to the United States. There was no coach, nobody to train with here. I didn't find any really good karate classes. There was only one I found, and we couldn't train together for so long because I had to move to California from Austin. So moved out to Cali, started training myself, train. Then I went for a competition in Chicago. To that competition, I came out second, but it wasn't in the elite. It's the American forgotten the title of the competition now. It's what it's American open weight American what is that? The American open weight competition. I'll check the name just to make sure I'm not mixing
Okay.
things up. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. So I came out. I went there after training myself for a bit. I've added some more weight, muscle here and there. So I went and I came out second in that competition,
Great.
which was pretty impressive given that I haven't trained for so long. I was just recovering from not too long, like surgery that I did on my knee, then now training myself without anybody being there. So for me, karate in whole is part of my life that shaped me to be the person I am when it comes to what I do for work. For my 9 to 5 or what I do for work is I'm a product designer. So basically, what I do is that I help businesses of every size understand how the people who they're building for or they're trying to reach out to what they really need, what they want, and bring that and align that with the business goals so that you're able to make the business successful, right? So that's what I do, and for a long time, that's what I've just been doing. So character has helped me build that, resilience mentally. Obviously, you get to points where you just feel like you're about to give up and just keep pushing yourself.
Yeah.
That discipline is one of the things. The discipline is one of the major aspects of karate that I believe has really helped me as a person. Then also keeping fit. I'm 37, and I
You
I
look it.
I pray so. I pray so. So I've been constantly working out, making sure that I'm fit. Uh, I tell people who look at me like, oh, they're like, ah, dude, you're so fit. How can I say, see, don't compare yourself with me. First of all, I started karate when I was one, and that's been my life throughout. So it's getting into the gym, working out, and staying fit
It's always
will
been
come. Will
part of
come
your life.
yeah, yeah, it's a habit that I have developed. And the days I don't go, obviously, it's easy. You don't feel great. You don't feel good about yourself. You beat yourself up. I try not to beat myself from time to time. I'm like, guy, calm down, relax. Give yourself grace, sort of thing. And I think one of the things that also helps me is that I have a community of friends here in Dallas where I live that we all work out together. So it makes it really easy for me. So karate has brought me so far. Karate paid my school fees. Karate bought my first computer when I first learned how to design. Karate has taken me to the world, and I've met amazing people through karate, and it's shaped me to be like I would say the amazing person that I am right
Wow.
now.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that detailed background. I'll just jump into it. So I've put together a couple questions in sections, and so question one would be building the right karate plan. How would you go about it? What are the key factors to consider when you want to maybe sign up for a karate course and what to look out for? Yeah, I think we could start off there.
So I think the first thing I'll tell anybody who is thinking about karate, I'd say that you need to ask yourself like, what's my goal? What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Karate is an art that not just only instills discipline, but it requires you to be mentally resilient in so many ways. Because there's going to be a lot of strength training, there's going to be a lot of core training, there's going to be a lot of movements, there's going to be a lot of um, cognitive workout that stretches your mind a little bit. So when thinking about um, karate as an art or as something you want to do to keep fit, I'll tell you that the goal of what you want to do should be top of your mind for you. Do you want to just keep fit? Do you want to actively compete? Because it's going to be a different ball game for both of them, right? Yes.
Entirely.
So I'll say that when you think about it from that perspective, like what exactly do you want to do? Do you want to compete or just want to stay fit doing karate? Which is really great for anyone who wants to get stronger, who wants to get into any form of fitness, but also learn self defense, learn how to manage your emotions, which is a really big part of it because that is one thing that karate has done. I would um, add this that I have worked with people who other coaches that are really good at coaching, and you'd see them work with students who are either on the spectrum, somewhat either autistic, and you start to see a change and shift in how those children are, how they react, how they respond, right? You see children who are really hyper and you start to see a change in them. It is not going to happen overnight. I don't know where you think it's magical, but it's something that it happens over time, and it also means that the person who is training them has to understand how to train people who need special needs, right? Who require special needs. But just to bring it all together, I'd say that when I'm thinking about the plan, I'm asking myself, what exactly does this person want to do? What's this person's goal? If you're letting me, once I understand your goal, then we're able to draw out a plan that works well for you specifically, or you're going to fit into the entire class of everyone they're currently training.
Great question. Great response rather to that question. Thank you so much. You pretty much have put answers to the next set of questions, so I'll just go to the next section. Thank you very
All
much
right.
for making it detailed. So, you've spoken about discipline, resilience, and what other variety, or let me put it this way: how important is variety in a martial arts training? And how often should techniques or practice routines be switched up?
All right. So I'll to go back to this quote that Bruce Lee said. He said that don't fear the man that practices 1,000 techniques once, right? Fear the man who practices one technique 1,000 times, right? I'm paraphrasing, right? So with karate, like I said, it's all about repetition. It's all about being consistent with every other thing. That's with every other thing. And when it comes to variety, when in karate, it depends on the area, right? So obviously, I'll give quick insight into it. So for if you're doing the kata, which is the demonstration, right? You have to have strong core to ensure you have great stance. There are a whole lot of criteria you have to meet. It's not just, oh, you come and dance. There's a whole lot of criteria. You can't go up and down, you toes kind of. It is very strict. So there's going to be a variety of ways that you have to learn to um you're just to learn to ensure that you are following up those criteria and making those criteria. It's really tough, it's really hard, it's rigorous. And the same thing with the committed side, which is fighting. For fighting, obviously, you have to have a variety of techniques. You have to have a variety. You have a variety of movements. Karate is an art that requires you to move constantly. Now, just to clear the air, anyone who does karate, who is into karate, knows that there are different arms and different styles of karate. First of all, I grew up doing Shotokan karate, but I had the opportunity to dabble into Shitoryu and Goju-ryu. So these are different styles of karate, and what you'd see it in how they approach their techniques when it comes, especially around the kata side of things as a demonstration, right? The stances are different, but they are very similar. The foundation is similar, right? Some foundation is similar. Um, but when it comes to Shotokan, Shotokan is pure grace, pure strength and technique, right? And for the traditional karate, which is the JKA arm of things, that's Japanese Karate Association. So traditional karate, in that sense, you would find out that people there's more body contact, heavier body contact, right, and less protection. So that's why this sport, it took a while for karate to get into the Olympics because the traditional style of karate is raw, is straight punches, hits. Now there is something called WKF, which is World Karate Association, right? So for WKF, there are more guards, there are more, it's more protective, right? So that is what people are used to. So I would speak a little bit from WKF side because that's what my background was in or is in. So I would say that variety comes in how you punch, the kicks, different types of kicks. Karate also has sweeps. I'd say it's one of the most well-rounded martial arts because it's not just only about kicks or all about punch. There is stances. There is the really good stance. There is the punches. There's the parries. There are kicks, different types of kicks. There are sweeps. There are throws where you see people learn how to throw. Picking a little bit from different arts also. So I'd say it's a less it's a low it's a le- it's not as it's almost like you're in UFC. The only difference is that you don't see your knee or your elbows, right? But it's like mixed martial arts. It is like mixed martial arts, but it has like the core foundation. So sometimes you'd see certain fighters, like for example, maybe Israel Adesanya. He has a really good wide first stance. That's a very karate stance. Same thing with someone like Conor McGregor. Same thing. He has that wide fighting stance. So you'd have to learn variety over time because you might meet an opponent who can counter certain techniques. You have to like sharp, right? So you have to learn different techniques. But the important thing is that you have to know what your strength is, right? What kind of techniques are really good for you, works well for you, and you're able to keep learning, keep sharpening to the point where nobody, like even though you know that that's what you're going to do, they cannot counter it. For me, it was sweeps, right? So regardless, I know how to set you up to sweep, right? I know how to catch you in a position where I know I can sweep you. So that's something that I kept getting better at, or the front punch, we call it Kizamizuki, where it's like a speed punch. You just really can't, it's like a jab basically. In boxers, we call it boxing, it's like a jab. And some people are really fast with it. So for me, those are some of the things that I was really practicing. But I had to add variety, and variety came in how you applied it, not necessarily the technique itself, but how you applied it, how you approach applying those techniques, and I think like that's like for me, like that's how variety comes in into karate.
Nice, nice. I liked how you broke everything down. Thank you very much. And so let's just what are some good strategies to adapt in karate that you can bring to bear in life? I mean, you've spoken about discipline. Could you just go over them again? Resilience is another one. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
so I'd say forward discipline. Discipline in karate is that you understand that there is a hierarchy. Doesn't mean you cannot ask questions. Doesn't mean that you're not allowed to think for yourself. But there's a hierarchy, and you have to learn how to follow it. And now what that means is that it's something that you think that is not working well, or you have a question. You know how to respectfully ask those
Okay.
questions. You are not going to just say, "Oh, I'm going to drag this guy today." That is not what it is, right? You are going to ask those questions respectfully. The same way you have to understand that you have to be in time. you have to be consistent with a certain kind of work training so that you get better. So you're disciplined mentally. So there are so many times, for example, I remember one of our gradings I was doing, and this grading program. So basically, as a karateka, you have to grade from one belt to another. And I think I was moving to from brown to black belt, first black belt. It was hell. It was hell because the grading program it was hell to me then. But the people before me, they're like, you're playing. This is Joe. You're
This is
joking.
child's play.
Yeah, it's child's play. It's easy for you. So you'd do some conditioning, some um, uh, you'd fight people, then you also do your demonstrations and some combination of techniques without anybody, there. So one of the things that happened was that one of the things I had to do was I had to fight three of my teammates at once. So I was in the middle,
Wow.
and there are three of them around. So obviously, you are going to be scared that you're going to fight these people. Somebody's going to hit. Someone's going to do something to you.
Yeah.
And the first thing when you say ajime, so ajime means start. So you say ajime, and I just look for the first person who I can take out easily. Bah, bah, bah. So the person, and while I was doing that, others were coming behind me. I was going to stop, but because I had trained so much that I had the strength to keep going, even though I was already gassed out from doing other things before that, right? But the discipline pushed me. I had to move. I had to like go further. Kept going. I kept going. It's the same thing with every other thing. It stretches you beyond you, like where you naturally are, and it kind of now plays out in your life. When you get to situations where you need to go the extra mile, push,
Sure.
like it comes into play.
Easy.
Yeah, and the other aspects to it, again, I say like fitness, staying fit. It was easy for me to
Yeah.
transition from doing active karate to weightlifting, right? To carrying weights and doing other forms of martial art. I was trying some other things here and there, but the strength that you have, you've built over time, the mindset that okay, I'm just going to get into this, and I'm just going to do it, like, regardless of whatever it is. You might start out as a novice, you have no idea what you're doing, but you're going to keep doing it, you're going to keep showing up. And what it now teaches you also is that as you keep showing up, you have to keep learning. So now I'm learning, okay, you know what? If I want to work out, let's say I want to build my muscles, I know I need to do hypertrophy, right? Like those kind of things. So it also gets you to do that extra work where other people will not understand. Okay, what's pushing this guy? Why does this guy keep going? Yeah, what you look different. And I think one of the compliments I get from people is like, oh, you don't look like a regular weightlifter. I say, oh yes, I did karate. They're like, oh, you look really sporty, you look sharp. I'm like, yeah, like it shows in how you carry yourself, it shows in how you walk. And also there's a very big part of it which is confidence. Um you over time you're going to find people,
Yeah.
you're going to have to demonstrate, and you're going to do a lot of things. So you have to build the confidence to do those things, right? And it's going to show up in your life. I for one have, I would say I wasn't one of the most confident people, especially in certain situations. But karate helped me. It is getting better. It's not like I'm fully confident. And this is me being open up. It's not like I'm fully confident in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
It's something, but because I already have that background, I'm able to apply it into other aspects. Obviously, things have changed a little bit. You're older, you're in new spaces and things like that. Things will shake you a little bit more, but they won't shake you to the point where you totally lose your footing and you cannot get yourself back up, right? So it is being able to fall and get up, fall and get up so many times. They beat you today, tomorrow they beat you next tomorrow they beat you again. But you're going to keep showing up. You're
Yeah.
just going to keep showing up.
Keep showing up.
Yes, you're going to
Totally.
keep showing up 100%. I think the last thing I want to touch on here is courage. You say courage is the absence of fear, but you do that thing even in the presence of fear. I can't tell you. I'm sure you've heard it from so many times from other professionals in like in sports in sports space, right? That they are going there to fight, or they're going there for an event. They have fear, but despite that fear, they're going to show up. There are so many times I've said, "Man, I'm going to fight this guy that I know for sure
He looks. He
100%.
probably looks better than, bigger than
He,
you.
he's, he is,
I mean,
one
he's the
story was,
actor. Yeah,
yeah,
to
one
just
story
look
was
so
a,
bigger.
yeah, exactly. Yes. So when we're at the All African Games in Mozambique, I think I was in 2011. I was fighting the team committee, so I was part of a team. So if a team committee is, I think, about 6 people, then you bring in your team. Each person comes to find each other. Then after I finish, you separate, that kind of thing. So I was coming to fight.
Mhm.
I was coming to this. The weight category is very different. I was in a minus 84 kg. So that means my weight is like below 84 kg or about. So then there is the plus 84 kg. Those guys are big, they are huge, big bones. So I was fighting someone who is the plus 84 kg because it was like most like an open weight category. And this guy was, I think, he was number 3 in the world. So my friends were like, hey, my teammates were like, yeah, let's go and fight. And I went there, I was like, you know what? I'm here now. I can't run. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to car. No, I'm going to
Yeah,
fight.
you can go.
Yeah, I'm going to fight. Yeah, so I went there. I fought. I lost 2-0, as for me to lose 2-0 there, it was quote unquote a good thing because our sport is that if you get beaten or if you're scored 8 before the time runs out, that's a knockout. So mine was 2, and I was like, you know what? Well, I think I did something, and it was good enough. So you're just showing up and saying, I am going to do this, regardless of how much fear was in there or I had. Then I think for me, it's a big deal when it comes to things I want to do. Till now, it happens. You still have fear, but you tell yourself, just do this thing. The worst. What's the worst that can happen? Either you get a no or a yes or a no, right? That's what it is. Either you lose, and when you lose, you ask yourself, "Am I doing this again? Yes or no?" If I want to keep doing it, I'll have to just dust myself, get back up, and put myself out there again. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let's. So next section will be around balancing strength, flexibility, and technique. How
Mhm.
can one balance all three while maintaining a steady, progressive growth in karate? Question.
That's a good question. um, Maintaining strength, flexibility, and what's the other thing you mentioned?
And technical drills, flexibility work, balance strength, and
Hmm.
just some technical those
In this one. So,
in those skills.
okay,
The
all right,
kicks, the
awesome.
punches, yeah, those technical punches that will land you the right point
Yeah,
that you want. Yeah.
yeah. So everything you mentioned work hand in hand. You cannot have one without having the other. Um, Speed is a big deal in karate. It's because whoever can, you know, go in and come out first before getting hit or before getting swept, right? Is the person who's going to score the point. Whoever can kick really fast. So that means that you have to build the strength to be able to um, keep moving because your legs are going to tire out. So you have to have strong legs. You have to have the speed. So there has to be that balance to understand what you need to do. So for someone who is doing, for example, someone who is doing the kata, which is demonstration, you need a lot of strength. You need to be strong. You need to have like really strong core. You have to have like strong ties because majority of what you're doing is that you are at a particular height for a long period of time. You have to have that focus. You have to have really strong punches, and you have to be steady. So you can't punch and look like spaghetti. You have to punch and it has to be really firm in there, right? Um, so for people who do kata, they're going to focus on different areas, different techniques, different things they need to do. Is it the core their core, is strengthening legs, strength training, and also techniques. Speed is a big deal. Same thing with committed the fighting. The speed is a big deal.
Yeah.
Um, Being able to be balanced while fighting. Because one of the things that people could do, they can sweep you, right? So they can sweep you and you're falling. So you need to have good balance, right? When you're on the kick, also you have to have great flexibility. So for the way you have to balance that majority of the time is that there are things that you have to do every single day.
Wow.
It is yes, same things you have to do every single day. Stretch. You cannot go a day without stretching. You should stretch every day. Regardless, even regardless of whatever it is that you do, either you're in karate or not, you have to stretch every day. Stretching is a really good thing for you. You have to have great flexibility. When it comes to the application of techniques, the drills, I said, practice one thing so many times in different variations, right? It could be, like I said, it could be just a back punch, and you can learn how to do it in different, in different variations. It could be something we call like you fake the person, so you fake it, like you go in and you come out, kind of thing, right? You could angle out on like 45 degrees, or you can step back if you're being attacked. So you need to be able to understand all of the variety of that particular technique, of one technique, for example, and know how to apply it in different situations. Obviously, the more you do it, the more your subconscious gets used to it, and when anything like that happens, your reflex is really sharp. And other thing too that I said too is reflex. You need to have really good reflex, and that comes with different kinds of training, different kinds of workouts to keep you alert. So you are not caught unawares. You can't keep bouncing in the place and expect the person to come. You're going to slip off, right? So there's something currently called like the state of kill, where you're at zero. People literally get you to that point without you knowing. So
Wow.
you have to be strategic. You have to be strategic about it, because someone who understands who has probably studied you a little bit or know how you fight, knows how to get you into that state where you freeze up. So when something is coming, you have literally
Right there.
no response to it, right? So there are a lot of things that you need to do constantly. But with everything you mentioned, everything works hand in hand. I have to understand how to balance training those things or doing all of those things. Techniques, some days you have to just focus on a specific technique. Some days you have to focus on strength training, and some days you have to focus on core. Some days you have to focus on endurance a whole lot. And endurance could be in the sense of running. Obviously, endurance doesn't happen to someone every day. Endurance happens to someone every day, especially if you are competing actively. So you're fighting, you're sparring, you have to have that endurance. Same thing with the kata too. Every single day that you're doing it, your leg is getting stronger, right? You're going to stay at a particular height for a long period of time. I probably have practiced just one technique or one section of the entire. Maybe you have like 36 steps, right? You can just practice one for a long time, so you get it right, so it's perfect. So it's just understanding what you want to do, and now being able to space everything well enough that obviously you're not overloading yourself with certain training, but there is that everything that you're doing complements each other well enough. So you're a well-rounded fighter or a well-rounded karateka.
Wow. Wow. So listening to you in all of this, where does, because it does sound like there is somewhere, because I mean watching karate movies as a kid was a thing growing up, but I do understand it. Karate can connects with your inner being. So do you meditate? Do you do like before training? Do you spend time to meditate? Do you try to visualize yourself doing those skills before you do them? And just walk us through how, I mean, the whole mental, does it connect to your spiritual man, your spirit man? I'm just really curious at this time because it sounds like it's a lot to take in. I honestly didn't know what I was signing up doing this episode, but
Yeah.
I've had people ask me, are you training to go for a war? And I'm like, no, I'm just, so if people see you training, I wonder what kind of questions they will ask.
The exact question they asked you to is like, like what's happening? Is the apocalypse coming? I'm like, yeah, it might happen anytime. You have to be ready. Stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to be ready, or you have to get ready. So I think meditation and meditation plays a big role in everything. And just for transparency, also, I'm not very consistent with it. But while I was actively fighting, you from time to time, even during trainings, you'd have to be, in Caesar, which is kneeling, and you'd be quiet and meditate. Now, back then, we obviously didn't know it was called meditation, right? It's like, oh, just keep quiet and don't say anything and just shut up and close your eyes. That's what it was. But one of the things that I started to I remember doing a lot is it depends on what I saw as meditation. It could be me listening to music at that point in time and getting my mind ready for what I'm about to do,
Yeah.
especially during competitions. But even during our trainings, it's the same thing too. You know you're going to do this specific kind of training, and you want to, quote unquote, psych yourself to get yourself in that state of mind. You want to move yourself away from whatever fog that you're having or drag that you're having there during the day, because nobody's going to care that you had a bad day. Get on the mat and somebody's going to sweep you and throw you around and drag you everywhere.
Mm.
So meditation plays a big role when it comes to you being calm, because as I said, it is when you think about the way I've explained fighting in karate, especially fighting, it's you have to be calm. You have to be. Your mind has to be calm enough to you to see things. You can't be agitated while fighting. And being calm doesn't mean that you're not ready. It means that you are being observant. It means that you are taking the time to know the person that you're fighting with, right? It also connects with like, meditation also connects with your spirit, because I believe that when you're quiet, you're able to hear things that you would normally not hear, or conversation you have with yourself that will get you to start thinking about things very differently. Because a place of silence is a place where I believe you get to understand yourself a little bit better, get to just spend time with yourself. As a Christian, for me, it's I believe that being quiet or being in a place of meditation is actually me wanting to listen to God, since it's a two-way. It's conversation between me and myself and Abba, my God, is two-way, right? I can't keep asking for things. I have to learn how to be quiet. So that also has found its way into my prayer life also, and how I try to help myself when things are a little bit chaotic. I'm like, guys, go and breathe, take a walk, make you think about things, then you come back, clear your mind. So meditation plays a big role in karate and in life in general.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that much info. So, next question would be: what common mistakes have you seen people repeatedly do in karate that that has taught you stuff in life in general?
Mistakes. I love mistakes. So, I think the first thing is that for people, anybody who is going into karate with a mindset that you're coming to learn how to beat people up, you're coming. That's like
That's the
that's
first
wrong.
mistake.
Yes, that's the first mistake. You're coming in there to learn to be a better person.
Mm.
I've done karate like I said completely all my life,
Wow.
and I can count on just one one arm, one hand, like how many times I fought outside.
You have to
Not because I wanted
defend
to,
yourself.
but because I had to defend myself.
Yeah.
Like in secondary school, people would taunt you like, you fight karate, let's like no, no, I don't. Right? And
Mm.
it's because of the discipline. It's not because you cannot fight. It's not because you cannot defend yourself. It's not because you can't take people down, but because you understand that you are you're a weapon. You're a working weapon. Like most people don't understand what that means. And going into karate, first thing you have to understand that you're going there to get to become a better person. You have to learn how to manage your emotions. You have to learn how to communicate and de-escalate situations.
Situations as well.
Yes, without having to fight, without having to hit anybody, right? Um, I think another thing is that when you get into karate, um, it's it can be fun. It can be fun, but
Yeah.
like I said, if you are not if you are thinking that it's going to be something really simple, really easy, like you have to reassess your
You're setting
goals.
yourself up.
Yes, you have to reassess your goals, because the beautiful thing about it is that once you start to fall in love with it, everything either it comes to you naturally, or you just want to just bail out. So don't think of karate as something you're just going to do, and you're going to get so drawn into it that you want to compete. You see other people who also want to compete, right? It might just be a demonstration, but it starts to change your mind. So
Change.
getting into it, you have to come. You just understand that you're coming for a very major mindset shift,
Mm,
right? You're not just coming to fight. You're not just coming to learn how to fight and defend yourself. It's a major mindset shift, especially when you're in a good character or in a good dojo, right? Obviously, we know out there that there are a lot of phonies, people who just plaster karate and it's something else they're doing. No judgment, no judgment. Because people don't know, and I don't blame them, right? You're also very handful few or handful who go there and do their research. But once you're in a good dojo, it's going to shift your mindset. It's going to shift your mindset. It might be karate, it might be something else, but it is a different kind of martial art. But the kind of discipline it's going to teach you is going to be so good for you that you'll be like, ah, this is not what I signed up for, but that's what you actually signed up for. So
yeah.
it's a bigger mindset shift. But aside from that, for people who are very active in it, I think one of the mistakes that I know that I made constantly was that I um I I wasn't really I wasn't doing what I said earlier, which is practicing one technique for a long time because you found yourself trying to do so many things
So
at
many
once.
things. Yeah.
Yes. So, but later on, you start to realize this is what I'm good at, and to sharpen this technique. And that's something I learned like way like late because I wanted to be able to do everything, but you can't be the master of everything. There's some people, there's some boxers who you already know that this is what they're going to do. They are counter fighters. You hardly see them, attack. Right. So understand how you work. Understand, what works best for you, and sharpen it, sharpen it, sharpen it, sharpen it. Other things are going to come in, but sharpen it, sharpen it, sharpen it. And lastly, karate on its own is not going to work. You need strength training. I
Mm,
wasn't doing strength. I wasn't doing strength training in a way that was optimized for karate. I was doing strength training because I just wanted to build muscle. So I didn't have really. We didn't really do a lot of um, I'll say strategic strength training. So this the strength training has to align with what you are doing, what kind of movements you do. You cannot do strength training like a boxer because that's not how you punch in karate.
yeah.
You can't do strength training like someone who is going for Mr. Olympia because you're going to be stiff and you need to move. So you have to understand how to what kind of strength training you're going to do, what kind of flexibility you need to do, so that actually works well with your movements and how you do karate.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Thanks. I liked how you just broke every step for us there. And so I'm tempted to ask, this is from me now. So I
Yeah.
started working out then. So I try to find some element of fun in everything I do.
Mhm.
And so workout became fun at some point. It was pretty painful when I started, but I was able
Yeah.
to push through, and yeah, it became fun. It's kind of like my distress, or my that's where I kind of find myself, um, or rediscover myself. And
Mhm.
so then I started running at some point. And listening to you now, I'm really interested to add some element of martial arts. And so where or what would you what insights would you like share? You've shared a lot of insights, but
Yeah.
something that would spur me on to go start it. What would you say that thing would be? Because
Ooh.
I started pushing through discipline.
Mhm.
When I tell people I get up in the morning, try to say a brief prayer, then try
Mhm.
to hit the gym pretty early. I try to hit the gym at 5 a.m. People are like,
Yeah.
wow. So I'm just imagining what your routine would be like. But I mean, when you were what was what was spurring you on then? Let's go. Yeah.
What was spurring me on as a ooh? Okay, so obviously I fell in love with karate, and because of how it um, made me move. I had something that I was really excited to do. You know, um, I had a community that was strong enough to keep pushing me on, regardless of how you feel. Trust me, that you can't be Superman every day. At days that your body is telling you, no matter how much discipline you have, certain days your body is telling you, man, just
Take a
chill,
break.
take a break. But you necessarily don't need a break then. But that's just that extra push you need to you know get beyond that, get beyond out of that funk. So I had a strong community, kind of community, friends that we trained together. That's one of the things that kept me going. Then obviously I was looking forward to collecting my salary and making money. Yeah, that was one part. But the love of the sports was of what the art was one of the things that kept me going. I just loved it. I would find myself so there was a period I was in Delta State and we're training for a competition. And for me, I'm one of those fighters that or karateka that does both kata and kumite. So I send competitions, I'll go and I'll win like gold in two events or gold and silver. Yes. So I was one of those people that I feel like I had the opportunity to be able to do those things because I had a father who push you either by saying things or giving you one slight statement. I see this guy, you have you have no
You have
you have
it.
no grip over your life. Come on, go and fight. So I was doing all those things. I think I got really good at everything, but it was a love for it. It was a love for karate that kept me going. Now, yes, but for anyone who wants to get into karate, um, do your research. All right,
Okay.
understand what karate is about.
All right.
Understand if it's something that you want to do. And the reason I say research is because we are all different, right? There are things that are going to work for you. There are things that are not going to work for other people. There are things that are going to get you excited about it, right? If you want to develop discipline and strength, and say you're going to go down that route, it is going to be great for you. You have to understand what is involved in it and say, okay, I want to do this. Now, if you want to try it out, I would say, okay, go try it out, see what it is like. And when you're watching stuff on TV, please. Karate is different. Karate is very different from Taekwondo and Kung Fu. They're very different. They're very, very different. Yes, Kung Fu is what most people see on TV or mixed martial arts. Taekwondo is Korea. Karate is Japanese, right? That's origin is Japan. So don't know the exactly difference between all of them, and make sure you're clear that you want to do karate, right? And I'm like I already said, I'm going to be biased towards karate. I say it's like one of the most well-rounded um, martial arts out there. You know, alongside MMA or UFC. So it depends on what works for you and how your goals. I think that is what's going to keep pushing you to keep going. Right? Yes, obviously, if you have a strong why, then that why is just going to keep you on that path. And if you're getting into any form of martial arts or boxing, you find yourself itching. Especially once you love, you start yourself itching to want to compete, and that means that you're going to change the way you work out. You're going to change. A lot of things are going to change about you, and you're going to find yourself doing it constantly. But and so I'd say it depends on what your goals are, what you want to do. Do your research about all of them, right? And bias to as I said, do your research on all of them and find which of them actually works best for you so that way it's you are constantly doing it. You don't have to drop out or be like, oh, I
Balance.
totally yeah. But again, you can also try different things. Sometimes it might just be something. Again, it might just be a place where you go to practice. You might find a really great BJJ dojo, and that's where your heart is. So do the research, understand what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and try different things. Try. I've done. For me, my father has done everything, so he pushed me when I was younger. So I did karate. I went for taekwondo competitions.
Wow.
I went for kung fu competitions. Right. And on my own as an adult, I've got done boxing where they've drilled me and beaten me and because right there. I've done MMA also.
Wow.
On you just light sparring. I'm like, yeah, I don't think this might be for me. I don't want to. I would say Nigeria. I don't want to my fine boy. That doesn't mean that I'm afraid of getting hit, right? I tell myself like I'm going to get hit, but something else I'd rather avoid, right, than get myself into. But it's also builds character, and I think like just doing that background work first of all is going to be really helpful for you to constantly keep doing that thing. To know what you want to do, research, and try anything.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Follow up question: where do we start?
Mhm.
Where do I start? I'm itching to start. Is there? I know you said you stopped training, and or but do you have? Is there something you do online training for maybe like a beginner like myself? And another question: what are the? I know you had made mention of several belt levels. Would you want to educate us as well? The first, I believe, the first level would be the white belt.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I'll take the first question.
Yeah.
I don't have anything I'm doing online. I tend to be very private about things I do. The only person I'm training right now, I say, is my
Your
daughter.
daughter.
She's the first person I have trained in many years. Back in Nigeria, I had a ton of kids. I used to train, and Indian different races, and we were all in person. So right now, I don't have anything I'm doing online. So we could have one-on-one conversation, one-on-one consultations. I could talk to you about karate and all of it. Um, so I think for me, like that's like there's nothing happening right now. But if you want to get started, yeah, say something we can have a conversation about, and we can also do the work to find you a really good karate club around you. If you can't find anyone around you, then we could either set up
Something
a
virtual.
one-on-one class. Yeah,
Yeah.
a one-on-one class. Yeah. So with the belt levels, they are different. So, but obviously, it is first is white, and the last is black. Now, for black, you keep going up in rank.
Oh,
So, ranks they call them dan, right? So you start at first black dan, first dan, second dan, third dan. So I think the highest right now is probably like a tenth dan thereabout. I might be getting this wrong. So anybody who are like karate enthusiasts and researchers, please don't come for me. I'm just saying because it's yeah. I think that's what I remember. One of the things about even getting to a black belt is that you traditionally you'd see people wear the same black belt they've had for a very long time to the point that the black belt starts to turn to white. So what that means is that you're still as a novice, but you have way more knowledge. So it's like you are starting out fresh, but you have way more knowledge. So everybody who does karate, we've been constantly taught that you approach karate as a novice, approach everything like a novice.
mm.
I'll never catch me going to any place thinking that I know it. I don't know. I have people teaching me how to punch boxing, how to punch like a boxer because it's very different. I'm not going to go like, oh yeah, I'm a karate guy. No, it's very different. So we have constantly have like that learner's mindset, and your grade levels gets you to the point. When you get to the point when you're black, then you start to see your belt try to start to change color. Obviously, most people try to change their belt so you see it looks good. But traditionally, your belt starts to change from black to white, and it gets you to that point where it's like you know what you're doing, but you still have that learner's mindset. Now, there are obviously different grades in between, which we'll not like go into details on, but all of them they just move up in rank when you have passed a certain grade from white to get to yellow, orange, and the on and on, and keep going through the entire process. What I would say about the grading program is that a lot of people move really fast within grades.
Oh,
And most of the time, I would say this: I'm one of those people who will make sure that you get every stance, every punch right before you move to the next grade. I don't. I will not. I will not move you up to the next grade if you don't have a strong stance or anything. But when you are looking for a place, be careful. Those kind of places that will just move you up the rank real quick because they are setting you up for failure. They are setting you up for maximum failure. You do not want to. You don't want to find yourself in place where you look like you don't know what you're doing and you think you already know. One good example for me personally is that because of how much I was drilled, we had a his name is Iwata Sensei, and he came from Japan to do like a Japanese grading for us, black belt grading in Lagos. And while you're doing your grading, obviously you have said you have different different programs that you carry out. Out of everyone who did their program, again, I'm not like I'm perfect, but there are certain things that were drilled into me, the foundation of it. So, out of everyone who was grading that day, I was the only person who did not get corrected a lot. Not because again, not because I'm the best, but because there was a foundation that was drilled into me. And those foundations are very simple as you are moving and your heel should not raise off the ground. It's that simple. It sounds very simple, but it is work. So if you've not drilled into your head, into your
Your
subconscious, it's something.
subconscious.
Yeah, right. So for me, I say it is important that you don't people don't really look at how you want to progress. With the belts is more about how good of a work that is going to get put in, to make sure that you understand the foundation.
That's a that's a really good place to take. So bringing this home, what has been the most fulfilling part of learning and teaching your daughter now karate for you?
Learning karate, I think for me, what's been most fulfilling is all of the opportunities that I have had through karate, mentally, physically, being able to travel, see the world. Through karate, I've been blessed to be able to travel to probably about 3 or 4 countries. Even before I never traveled on my own out of the country, right? So I was able to meet people, explore different cultures, and even karate itself. I still want to go back to Japan again. But I was in Japan earlier this year, and I said, this Japan trip, I'm not doing karate or anything. I'm just going to unwind. Next time I go back, I am going to get into go see the dojos, JK, and all of that. So for me, it's afforded me so many opportunities, so many benefits that I'm still enjoying and ripping off of right now. Um, for my daughter, I would say that um, it gives me joy to spend time with her. Spending time with her is really important to me. So that's something that it's like I enjoy doing, spending time with her, getting her to do karate. She wants to do it. She really wants to do it. She comes to me like, hey daddy, it's so they're on summer break right now. So she just comes, so daddy, it's almost 5 o'clock. It's karate time. I'm like, okay, I got you. I start round off of work and she goes and we train together. She wants to run, she wants to do all those things, she wants to be strong. So for me, I am happy that she is something that she wants to do. And I was really intentional about that. I didn't want it to feel like I dragged her into it.
Mhm.
Right. So she loves it. She has amazing kicks, really amazing kicks. She does gymnastics also, but she has really amazing kicks. And she's a very resilient child, right? She's 7. And something that, as parents, that you always have this proud moment when your child does something and you're like, yes, that's my child.
Yeah.
You are doing well. We were training and we're almost done training, or she was like, hey, she's tired because we train for a bit because we just enjoy it because she genuinely enjoys it. So
Yeah.
we train for a bit, probably like for 5 minutes, and she got tired. Like, hey, dad, I'm no longer fighting. I don't fight anymore. We're done sparring. I said, okay, cool. So she sat down. And all of a sudden, because she just likes to taunt me, she decided to punch me, and I punched her back. I said, you put my punch you back. You can't punch me on this kid. That's not how it works. And she got up. I said, Daddy, why do you punch me? I said, do you want to go again? She said, yes, I went again. Pa, 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 pa. We went for a while. Then I swept her. She fell. And she was trying to cry. And then she just shouted, I will not give up. She said that. I was like, I was caught off guard. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, here we go. Let's keep going. So I can see that the training that everything we've been doing, the work we've been doing is also still reflective on the things that she does and how she shows up for people, how she's respectful, how she listens. And it makes me happy. Like if there's anything else, I'm happy that she is going to become that kind of person who understands discipline, who understands who understands consistency in doing things, who wants to always show up regardless. So she's like, hey dad, my gi is not ready. I said, well, we're going to do it. She said, yes, we're going to do it. So she understands that she has to show up daily. She's just 7. I'm sure people are like, I'm 7 years, why is not like, but that's who she is right now. I am happy. I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it, not just for myself, but for her because she's going to grow up to know how to defend herself. She's going to stand for herself. She's going to be confident. She will speak up for herself. She's not going to give up, as she said, right? So I think those are things that I see that really gets me excited. I'm happy that she wants to do karate by herself.
Great, great. Thank you so much. This has been an eye opener. I mean, for any of our guest, the joining. I do hope you have you picked something and run with it. But I'm definitely going to have to add karate to my routine. Thank you so much, Chen, for agreeing to do this. And
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
also let
I'll hold you to it. I'll hold you to it. I'm going to drag you. I'll call you at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, what's up? Are we fighting today? Are we training today?
no worries about that. Then just this is how I always try to close out the show. I
Mhm.
just ask some personal questions, five side questions, and
Yep.
but in this case it would just be two. So I'm going to bring this down. Just do some. So between so it's typically cardio or strength training for my guest, but I would add speed to it. So which of these routines was always cutting it for you? The whole speed routines, or cardio, or strength training?
Um, are you talking about now or when I was
Yeah,
actively
when you're
competing?
active
Both.
now, just trying to
Uh,
blend it up.
Okay, so while I was actively competing, it was stamina because that was one of my weakest points,
Okay,
and I need to have really good stamina. So
okay,
I was always working on my stamina. I was always running and doing a lot of cardio then.
very nice.
So that was one thing I had to work on. Now it's very different for me because
Mm-hmm.
again, the older you get, the better you want to build more muscles
True,
to
because you
just to make sure that you're healthy, right? And the older you get, you want to have stronger muscles.
yeah,
So I focus more on strength
strength
training,
training now.
but the way I have like broken in that path is that I started out doing a lot of hypertrophy because I wanted to build muscle. That at some point I lost muscle from surgery and so many other things, and being not being very consistent because we're trying to work on everything. So I went with hypertrophy first. Then once I felt like, hey, I think
Good to go.
you're pretty good, but you build enough muscle for yourself. Not like you're going to stop building muscle, but I started moving to strength training because I had to start improving my strength in my legs, my arms, everywhere, and also core. So right now, like it is strength training that I'm doing
Great,
more and more
great,
of. Yeah.
great. And home workout or gym workout or workout with the bodies.
Oh, I love gym workout, but I can be very I can very down with the gym. So because of the time span that I have, I'm trying to cramp in enough
Yeah,
efficiently,
yeah.
right? So I'd rather have a gym that is not very big so that I'm able to balance doing strength training and quickly doing core while I'm resting. Yeah, exactly, to balance that because of the time that I have, right? So I think that for me it's being able to gym works great for me, but I was able to build like a home gym, and I use every now and then the days that I can't make it to the gym. But I always prefer going to the gym because there are people looking at me, so I'm very very serious.
Thank you so much. And I noticed there's a sword behind you. This is just on the side. Is that like your
Yeah,
sword or?
yeah. It is a real sword, and it was given to me. It was a gift from a
Oh,
friend, a dear friend who doesn't know that this guy is into this is into the
martial
Japanese
arts.
arts.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
you're like, hey, it's like, hey, here you go. Here's your Christmas gift and this sword. I was like,
Nice.
you're my best friend in the whole wide world right now.
All right, man. Thanks for thanks for doing this. I totally enjoyed this session. Thank you very much. I know you're a very
Thank you
busy
very much
guy.
for having me, man.
Let you have the rest of your day. Do take care now. Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much.
All right,
All right,
just one more.
cheers.
Yeah.